So a lot of my ideas are about this concept of what are we beyond our physical and social identities. You see my face, you know I'm an artist, or my age, my race, all of these sorts of things. And wanting to think about what we are beyond that. What are we emotionally or psychologically or spiritually? So the idea of dreams came up in terms of being part of our mind and part of our consciousness that we all know because we wake up and remember it. So it exists, but the degree to which it is real, we don't know. So this installation is called Dream of Sleeping. And this title comes from one of my projects where the visuals are of me in bed with the video projected onto a sculpture, and you have this relationship between the physical materiality of sculpture and the non-physical attributes of video, combining and trying to create reality, but it never really does. So there's that tension. But what we've taken from that project is the audio. And in the audio, I recount this dream I had about the future, where I meet my nephew when he's 7 years old, even though when I had the dream he was only 1. And in the dream I have a son. And in the dream my father has died, but my father's still alive. So I'm seeing visions of the future. And who knows if that future will ever happen, but it was interesting that we would possibly have the ability to see outside of time. So while you're seeing this installation and the connection between these 3 video projects, these 3 visual images, you're hearing the audio of a non-realistic experience that I had. In my video Labyrinth, I videotape myself walking through the space of my apartment, and the video is then shot at different angles to make the walls disappear in a way. So you're not sure what you're looking at. So it's kind of about not only our spirits within our bodies existing outside of our body, but also questioning the physical or reality that's around us. My video mirror is a very simple version of my technique for video, in that I just concentrate on my face and this idea of looking at yourself in the mirror. And by having 4 layers of myself kind of moving in and out, there's this idea of, well, maybe I'm more than just this visual physical body or physical face that you see, but there's something kind of deeper in. So the image of myself appears and disappears. It's constantly going in and out, in flux. It's there, it's not there. Just like in life. We're here for a temporary period of time. The reason why I create these images that are actually a layered of images of the same image, the same composition. So you see me 4 or 5 or 6 times moving on top of myself, is I want to talk about alternative existences. In science fiction we use the term parallel universes, you know. For me, the idea of alternate realities is fascinating, because if we think about the choices that we make in our lives, what if I had done this instead of that? And I think more accurately represent that this physical reality that we live in may not be the only one. And another video project which is called Ascent, is the one that's kind of the most abstract, where I videotaped my hands and my feet in the bathtub underwater and coming above water, and the video is then projected right in the bathtub again and again. This is probably one of the most beautiful videos I've ever made, because of the effect of the light reflecting on the water creates these wonderful sparkles, and the image almost disappears completely. So again, it's reflecting the idea that our physical bodies aren't exactly totally what we are, but we're something else. One of the things I like about video is that it's ephemeral, which means it doesn't have physical materiality, which gives it the ability to be copied, but also gives it the ability to change size, change proportions. So in my work, I use a combination of video projection, which can be scaled to the size of a wall or projected on as large as a building, or use monitors, in which case the size of your image is related to the size of the monitor you have. For me, this is all about scale. Conceptually, it means that I can have a piece like Mirror that's on a screen that's almost the proportions of a human head. So it looks like you looking back at yourself, or you looking at me, and I'm not a giant if I was to project that video on a wall. Instead, I think the small life-size scale is intimate. Whereas video projection can be placed on a huge wall, which becomes almost immersive, taking up your whole field of view. The other thing I like to do is video projection onto sculpture or onto three-dimensional form. And that adds a new layer of illusion in that you're looking at a three-dimensional object that appears as though it's moving because the video is moving. Or you're looking at a video that appears to have three-dimensional form even though it's flat. So I really like the illusion that creates, because again, it makes us question what is physically in front of us, what is visually there but not physically there, and we start asking these questions about our own physical reality.